understand the reasoning. Illegal immigrants are a really big problem in our country. I think everyone can agree with that. The question is, did March and March members stop foreign nationals from accessing healthcare today in Durban and in Rosettenville?
That's why I'm correcting you, Naledi, because you're not using the correct terminology. And if you're doing that, you're going to change the situation into what it's not. Because I have said this before. It's like saying that South Africans are xenophobic for trying to enforce the law. It can't be xenophobic if we're enforcing the law. Today, we were enforcing the laws of this country by preventing people who are in the country illegally from accessing resources that they are not supposed to be accessing, because by right, those people should be getting deported and taken back to their countries. That is what we were doing, protecting South Africa. Because as a forum, because let's call it a forum, forums are all over the country. They are there to help the police to fight crime. We're doing the same thing as South African citizens. The only difference here is that in South Africa, with illegal immigrants, they always get treated with child gloves, as if they're not the same people who have broken the laws of this country and come to the country illegally. How different is March and March to a normal forum that goes to the community to fight crime? I don't see the difference with what we're doing to everything that every other forum does. Okay. We're enforcing the laws of South Africa.
You know, you talk about the laws, and the channel earlier spoke to the South African Human Rights Commission that wanted to remind the public and stakeholders, and I'm going to read from the statement that we received from the Human Rights Commission, because this is what it does. You talk about laws. The Human Rights Commission says Section 27.1 of the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa clearly states that everyone has the right to have access to healthcare services, including reproductive healthcare. Then it says, this constitutional provision means that all people in South Africa, regardless of nationality, should have access to basic healthcare services. Stay with me for a little bit, because then it goes on to say, this includes South African citizens, refugees and asylum seekers, and then listen to this, documented and undocumented migrants, as well as stateless persons. So you talk about the law, but this is what our Constitution says, Jacinta.
Okay, so Naledi, there is no part in the Constitution that says undocumented, documented people have a right to access to healthcare. The word that is used is everyone, and everyone is subject to whatever you interpret everyone to be. And also, to add to that, there is no constitution in the world, firstly, that is designed for people from outside. Every single constitution in every single country is designed for people who are citizens of that country. Second to that, there's not a single constitution in the country that contradicts itself. So how can the Constitution of South Africa say that illegal immigrants are in the country illegally, and therefore need to be deported, but then that same constitution says those people must have a right to everything that South Africans have? It's not fair. You're interpreting the constitution in a way that is not supposed to be interpreted. Also, the Constitution of South Africa, Section 21 of 1F, says that every single person who is in the country needs to come here legally, and also while they're here, they need to have medical insurance that makes sure that they are able to access medical care in the country, because they're from outside. Why would the Constitution say bring medical insurance, and then the same Constitution says come and have something for free? The word that is being misinterpreted here is everyone, and that everyone was speaking about South Africans of different races, of different color, because previously that was limited to only white people. We are not going to talk about the Constitution. Secondly, if there's a part where the government of South Africa has failed to protect South Africans using that same Constitution by protecting us from illegal immigrants who have come here and committed crime. You can't say if you are not doing your duty, then South Africans don't have a right to protect themselves. That is not fair. Because if the government is not doing their duty and protecting our borders and protecting our communities from illegal immigrants, then South Africans have a right to protect themselves. And that is a fair thing to ask of South Africa.
Subscribe.